Orlando has long been known as the City Beautiful, also known as the City with a
sound. Live on stage, the sound.
Orlando!
So, is they ready?
You mean to say that's the best you can do? Hip hop is something you live. Almost anybody could do better than that. You know? Okay. The sound of Orlando!
Show.
Lock this down like it's supposed to be.
On your FM dial.
Is trying to hold this up.
Well, what's going on, party people? What is going on? Feeling a little bit under the weather today, but welcome to the Sound of Orlando show. My name is Rome. It's affectionately called the Soul Show. Welcome back. Want to send shouts out to all the people that tune in on a regular basis to find out what's going on in their city, find out what's going on in the realm of this thing of ours called hip hop and culture and freedom and the thoughts of human beings. I mean, this is what we do it for. So yeah, I'm a little bit under the weather today. Took some vitamin C, took some medicine. So trying to feel a little bit better, but we're still going to bring it to you live and direct. Like I said, if you've been looking in the papers here lately or following anything news, you will start seeing things about UFOs and how they're real. And so, yeah, this is how we're starting off our intro to the summertime. So, just in time to not have any class, we're headed towards summertime and UFOs and wonders and rumors of wars and all these things are going to be coming to fruition. So, it is what it is. People buckle up, keep your hands inside the vehicle at all times. And, this is what we're doing right now. So shout out to you guys joining the show tonight. This next guest I got coming on tonight, he represents all things ORL. He's a legendary MC, a part of the consortium that is Warheads and the Everglades movement out here in the city that have been doing their thing for a long time. They are when you think about parts of the story of the city and our diversity and why our diversity is so important, why our numbers are so important, those people right there, they represent why that is, because we could have been pigeonholed and tunneled down into one particular sound of expression, one particular vibe of a direction, and our diversity gave us culture. The East Side represented a whole next sound altogether, and it was a beautiful thing to have people like myself from downtown, have people on the East Side, have people from the South Side, have people on the West Side and the North Side all contribute to this thing of ours that we call our city, our story, our sound. And these guys embody that. That's what they do, But this next gentleman, not only did he do some legendary stuff out here, but he went up to New York, back home, and continued to push the culture forward. Every time I see the man, he's not only representing Brooklyn, he's always giving a shout out to Orlando. So that should be everything you need to know about. Never hide your roots or where you come from. The man never hide his roots. He tells, hey, this is where I got my start at. He always bigs us up. I love that. And he's doing big things out there, working with so many great people out there. Rusty Jukes, you name it. I mean, he's doing his thing. Rock Boys G's, he's doing so many things up there. And he's got this dope ass album that he put together, and with the visuals. Shout out to my man Rack shooting the visuals, Angus, Prosper, all these people, man. Like they just, the family is extended. and we continue to push the culture forward. So without further ado, let me bring on my brother from another mother, the legendary. Y'all may know him as Thunder. My man, Thunny Brown was good, homie.
Yeah, was good, big. I'm hype right now. Peace and blessings. Big up
Man,
to
peace.
Rome, man. Yeah, I'm unfortunately a little bit under the weather, but we hoping to give you some of this energy, get you back recharged, man.
Man, I feel
It's
you,
the
brother.
pretty boy
I need it.
gangster.
I
Yes,
need
sir.
that,
Yes, sir.
man. I need that, man. Yeah, bro.
Over here.
Pleasure to have you on. I told you got that sombrero on. That lets me know where the hell you at. Where the hell you at, brother?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, it's the pretty boy gangster, Thunny Brown, aka the Thunder God, Boot Camp Magnum Force, Rock Boy G's, A Squad, Sharpshooters, Warheads, AOD, and one half of the Fuck Out of Here podcast show. You done know, man. I'm out here, Brooklyn, New York, Far Rockaway, Queens. I'm up top right now. I was just out on the beach earlier. You know what I mean? We finally getting our summertime weather up here. I hit the beach with my daughter's in town, my grandbaby in town. We hit the beach, my nieces, put our feet in the cold water, got some shells, ate some snacks. We took the picnic basket out there. You know, I had to throw on the sun hat, guy.
Yeah, you already know, man. That's
Yeah.
Florida all day. Let's go.
Oh, I stay ready for all that. Florida is what helped me get to this stage, right? Before I moved to Florida, I didn't know how to dress for the summertime. Up here in New York, the average Joe might throw on a pair of Timberlands in the middle of the summertime just because you could do that. What? Right. Down there, it's a different kind of heat. I had to change up my whole repertoire when it came up to the garments, B. When it came up to the fabrics, you know, the sun hats, I understood the value of a wife beater, you know what I mean? Or the cut off shorts, the flops. Like, oh, why these dudes rocking the flip flops on? Yo, it's super hot. It's blazing heat. It's hot 97.
Pretty much. Pretty damn much. Everybody knows me, you know, most of the time you see me in a pair of shorts. Like, if I'm in Florida, like, that's just what that is. That's what we do out here, man. T-shirt and some shorts, you know. So glad to have you on, man, because I see the things that you're doing, helping out the community. You're doing so many things. You got your hands in so many things right now, and it's a beautiful thing. It's great. It's a blessing to be busy, first of all. If you guys are busy out there and you got something to do, that is a major blessing. But for those that may not know who you are and how you came up in the game, and I also want to say thank you, because you were one of the first people that came on the show when I started it and didn't know what this show would be or what it would be about. And you was like, I'm on it, brother. And so I appreciate that, man. That means everything, man. You guys seen something I didn't. And I'm just glad I'm out here just giving a platform for our people, man. So I appreciate you, brother. But for those that don't know you, talk about how you stepped in the game and what inspired you just to get your feet wet and get involved with this thing of ours.
All right. Well, yo, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure and an honor. You already know, as far as the music and how what inspired me was just the whole hip hop movement. I came up seeing every aspect of the culture, every element, every founding element of hip hop. I came up seeing firsthand. One of the homies that I went to public school with, elementary school with, my man J-Lo YNN. He's part of the world-known famous graffiti writer clique YNN, as well as the Low Lifes. You know what I mean? My team, seeing the various different DJs, some of my own family members DJing. Big up to DJ Harvey Stone, rest in peace. Taking me through some of the roads, taking me behind the scenes, up close and personal with legendary groups like Brand Nubians, Naughty by Nature, when they first came out and dropped out in Jersey, out in they turf, out in they clubs, front row, no big stadiums, no big arenas, just in the club. You know what I mean? These are some of my inductions into hip hop. And then, you know what I mean, like I said, already attracted to all of the elements of it, wondering how I could get in, where I could fit in. I ended up you know, dancing at first, but you know, it took a major turn real quick. One of my homies was dancing for Def Comedy Jam, so we had to end over there. One of my other homies was dancing with LL Cool J, Mariah Carey, and you know what I mean. So we had to end. And then one of the teams that I was rocking with, you know what I mean, that they was doing the bars and I was doing the dance, and we was at the Uptown Comedy Club with Tracy Morgan, Flex, Old Dirty Bastard. You know what I mean. So this is my life as a little dude. You know what I
Right.
mean? Actually into
Right.
puberty, and in and around those days and those stages, I ended up meeting up with the legendary Sean Price, rest in peace. P. You know what I mean? He took
Hey.
me under the, and you know, between him and the whole boot camp, these dudes was helping me sharpen my sword. So like you had said earlier, I got my start down there. I didn't get my start down there. I started up here, and these dudes had me on that path. But they was already about to be in the game, in the world, and then you know, I got actual family on the warheads out there. So I'm like, yo, you know what? I'll meet up with my homies in the industry, and I came down south and did it down there with the homies on that end. And
Oh,
yeah,
true. Right. So yeah. I mean, you just laid down a bunch of stuff I didn't even know about you. You know, and that's why it's important to be able to tell that story, man. Because for a lot of people, people kind of think like now everything is instantaneous, instant gratification. Like you just instantly do something. Oh, I just want to do something, not realizing that a lot of times you're led from one direction to another, and many of us, including myself, started out dancing, like just being a part of the culture, just expressing through movement and
indeed.
and battling and wanting to be everywhere at once, every spot we try to be at all the time. But then you're exposed to other people and seeing what they do and wanting to be a part of that. What was like you said, working, coming on that tutelage of Sean P and the all the inspirations when you came down here, based on what you're telling me, you pretty much really knew what you wanted to do once you got down here.
Yeah, I was already on the path. Like real quick, uh, me dancing that happened because the dude that was the go-to dude in my high school that had the balls that everybody was like, yo, he's the man with the balls. When I finally pent up my first little verse and went, I spit it for him. He had that look on his face, like, yeah, I mean, off of his reaction, that right there had me go to go down the path of dancing. But at the same time,
Yes.
same
Get
time,
your
I
ass
was
back on that dance floor, dude, until you get right.
yeah, I bust a funky dope maneuver, big. So
Yeah.
at the same time, dancing at the Uptown Comedy Club, that was a little light. But then at the end of the day, like I had a revelation on stage one day. I'm dancing. My pop's working construction and carpentry and all type of things like that. I hear him complain about his body. I'm putting my body on the line night after night, getting it going, and I'm not even the star of the show. I'm like, so after a few shows and seeing the light on them and the more attention on them, I kind of ended up getting my confidence up. Like, yo, man, I could do this. You got to do this. So by the time I
Right.
was really writing, but I didn't know what I was doing. It was like when you see a fire hydrant with the cap off on full blast. That's what I was doing. And you know what I
Right.
mean? Up with dudes like Sean Price, the boot camp, different dudes I was teaming up with up here, my man Cousin Bob. And then they set me on that path for a structure. And so that I knew a little bit about, I needed to range some kind of parameters on it. And once I got down there, Warheads, you can already imagine that was just a straight training ground. At the height of it, it was 15 MCs and 5 producers. And you know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
Still sharpening, still day in, day out, big.
Right. It was a beautiful thing to watch as I look back at it. When you're in it, you take for granted the importance of the moment. We were everywhere y'all went. We were everywhere. If you guys were performing, we performed. We were performing, you guys performed. Like it was just constant, but watching the organization, shout out to my man Rex, the cerebral one when it comes to
What's up, man? I mean, his name, you're calling him Rax now. But this is
talk about it.
Mr. Roughneck.
Yes.
Rough the Rude. Rough from fucking M3s, B. Legendary on the soil out there, man. Like I'm gonna tell you this real quick. Part of the other inspiration and motivation behind me getting up, my cuz DJ Harvey Stone, Daytwan, he had got shot in both of his legs up here. Just checking his shorty out in Connecticut, out in the town, and ain't had the right team with him, and shit happened. On top of it, he was a DJ too. So on top of that, then I got Rule Racks down there talking about, yo, I'm opening up for Cypress Hill, Salt and Pepper, Tupac. I'm like, what? You doing that? Yeah, I'm with the boot camp. I'm rocking with the Buckshot Shorty and the Helter Skelters and the OGCs and all of them. But yo, this is familiar, la familia. You know what I mean? Right. So I'm like, yo, fuck it. We all family. I'm down there. And we went south, B. We flew the border. We went towards the outside and the other end of the Mason-Dixon line, across the border.
Right. And it was a beautiful thing. It was a very diverse crew. It wasn't just like
a lot of the.
Go ahead.
Now, what I was gonna say is a lot of that. We was living at the moment, so a lot of it we look back on it now and can appreciate what we did. And I mean, we was doing stuff that people could only dream of doing. Right. And it can never be done like that again. You know what I mean? But here we are. We lived through that. I mean, it was an experience, but we still here to pass on some of the jewels, pass on that knowledge, and still put a foot in it and let them know, yo, we still here. We did that, and we doing this now. Get on board. So you ain't know where this was going at the start, but whatever we putting our hands into is gonna go somewhere because we gonna put that hard work in there. You know what I mean? It's not all games. We dedicated. This is a passion. You know what I mean? Like, this is how I speak. This is how I talk like this with my family. You know what I mean? The energy stay up. You know what I mean? What we do, bro. It's in the blood.
Yeah, man. You mentioned some great things that went down during those days that led you to become the man you are today. Talk about what inevitably brought you back to Brooklyn.
Oh, woo. Fuck, you went there, and I'm the type
brother.
Truth. This is what it really was, B. I had a young son. You know what I mean? I had my son early on, B. I was a teenager, lost my virginity, had my first kid. Like a lot of us, not knowing better. But I was intent to stand up. So we had a certain relationship before I left, and then when I got down south in the Glades, things was going left. You already know how things is with your family when you're not around to really, usher it in or lead it the way you want it to be in the direction you want it to go. I felt like I was having some issues, and the only way that I could really see to it was to get back up here on the soil. Not to mention, I'm gonna put this out there too. I come from a big family. The shit that happened in my family on a regular basis is the type of shit that a lot of people only dream about or only see in the movies. I'm not bragging. Big Sunday dinners. The room next door to me is filled with ladies right now. Little ladies, big ladies. It's always, all days, heavy family situations. You know what I mean? At the time, my grandmother and my great grandmother was still alive. I'm hearing long range on the long distance call. Yeah, we had great grandma party and this, that, and that. Yeah, that hurts your heart. That hurts your soul when you love your family. You love family like that, baby. Like, oh, I can't be there to raise my son up, get that time in with him. I ain't seeing the women that held me down my whole life. Yeah, it's New York City, Brooklyn, Brownsville. One of the head males of the family not around. Hey, I needed to get back on the soil, so that led me back here, bro.
Man, that. I love what you just said, man, because one, you don't hear our brothers and sisters, but mainly our brothers talk about, and what it is to choose certain lives over the other. Um, and the reason why I feel you even more is that I made similar decisions in my life. I tried to keep things going with my kids and my family and juggle the music um, but once I started to feel like, and every artist face it, am I not going to be there in the pursuit of this idea? And if you come from where I come from, I grew up without a father. So for me, I didn't have a father in my life. I didn't want to continue that cycle. And so during the peak of what I felt like we were right there, I had to make that decision for my family. And it was a tough decision to do, but it was necessary because at least gave them a better chance in life than it did for me having to kind of space things out. And like you said, you can't get back that time. I got to spend a lot of time before my mother passed. Um, had I been out in the streets and not been there, I would have felt like damn, I just totally missed this part. And so I get it, man. It's really tough to make those kind of decisions, and everyone has the right to make whatever decision they gonna make. But and I ain't gonna judge anybody for choosing a career or choosing their run at things. But like you say, you can't get your time with your family is numbered. So wherever you can get in and get and fit in, that's really probably the best jewel you can ever drop on the world at all. Especially
Yes,
as a
sir.
black male. Especially as a black male, brother.
I'm
Being
gonna
there for your kids.
tell you like this real quick too, man. Like even as a young man, I used to move around my son in the stroller. You know what I mean? Figuring out, but making sure I was spending that time. I'm talking about not with his mom, me, and
Right.
maybe my cousin Dayton. We all the way out in Coney Island, far from home. Like, yo, we gonna go do some things, experience some things, and do the things that a lot of us as young men didn't get a chance to do with our fathers. Even though it ain't rocking with the mother like that, we gonna do that. And I put my best foot forward to do that. And I used to get congratulated. I used to get saluted on a regular from older people. You know what I mean? Seeing me move around. Then today, the type of person that a lot of people wouldn't stop to speak to, a lot of times I speak to because, mental health. We had a lot of people in the family with mental health issues. So, even though somebody's outward appearance and their actions might seem real vibrant, real loud, it might be a little unorthodox, something that a lot of people ain't used to. To me, I could see the person behind all that most times. So it was a lady that was talking to the family as I was in the store grabbing some stuff for the picnic basket earlier, right? And by the time I realized what she was saying, she was like, "Oh, so I had the mask on at the time, and she's thinking my daughter is my lady. My daughter's telling her this is my father, and this is his grandbaby. These are the nieces." He's like, and at that moment, she saluted like the lady that people would walk past and not deal with. She saluted like, "Yo, this is a major thing right here, and you need to blessings to you and the family for being out here, being that example." I was like, "Yo, you know what? A lot of people was." This was the second person that confused my daughter or asked if this might have been we was a couple. I was like, yo, let me take off the mask so they could see this beard, so they can understand I'm out here with my family. And at the same time, I don't do it like that. You know what I mean? For other people to put in other people. But I would hope that other men take inspiration and motivation from that. Go ahead and spend that time with their kids. It's a lot of mothers that don't even be out there like that. You know what I mean?
Nah, man,
Do
fuck all that, bro. Fuck all that. You are doing something that time, the world, nobody could take away. Not even your failures can't take away. Like, you're doing something that for anybody that has two eyeballs or a third eye can see, it needs to be celebrated, especially in our community. And it ain't about, you being a walking billboard or an after school commercial. Like, it's not about that. It's about, like I said, to know is to know. Like, what you did and what that meant. And that shit's a whole nother level. That shit's a whole nother level of money. And we being 100 about everything, you were probably one of the wealthiest men in the world to be able to experience that and not allow anything, including yourself, including the mother, including the world, not allowing anything to come in between that for that moment. See, what a lot of us, yeah, go ahead.
I've been there before, feeling that bit. It was a time when I was in the middle of a breakup with a young lady, right? And my son was in town from Florida, and I hadn't been seeing him like that. So the type of thing that you would normally do with a young lady you really got feelings for. Yo, come on, and try to court him back. I could, you know what I mean? It was a moment when I was upset with her, realized myself snapping at my son. I'm like, hold. Even though I care for this lady, and I don't want it to go down how it's about to go down, I gotta forget about that and focus on my little man right here who don't see me regularly. This is the focus right here, man.
Right. And it's a beautiful thing. That shit need to be put in a bottle and sold for $59.99 at your nearest convenience store, because that shit, once again, now we're not talking about forever, because for a lot of people that's impossible. Living on this earth long enough, you realize those things are impossible at times. But to be able to have those moments are priceless. You're walking around with gold.
You about to get me emotional in here. I gotta take it a step further, even though we heavily off into the family conversation, which I don't mind.
No, you good, brother.
Like, right here, this is important for me so to a whole nother degree. The young lady that's here is my baby girl, my oldest daughter. And it was a time when I was, like I told you how I moved. I was attempting to get her here with me, with her brothers, spend time and know her family, because she ended up from Florida to Texas. You know what I mean? That's a long way away from Brooklyn, New York.
Right.
The mom didn't want to let it go down for whatever reasons it might have been. And here we are, man. Just now, she's now meeting members of her family for the first time. I put everything down, you know what I mean, for the past week or two, and only been I've been moving with the family like I'm on tour. You already know how that go. Little sleep, lack of sleep, up early, up late. That's how I've been doing it, and only focused on that, B. Right. The phone calls, I get back in touch with the world, the music, after they safely back home. You know what I mean?
Man, but that's everything though, man. And I know talking about shit like this sounds sometimes like movie. It is a movie. And normally if you allow yourself to not be a fucking asshole in your entire life, you'll actually enjoy the movie. Like, you actually be like, you know what? That is right. There's nothing wrong with allowing yourself, giving your skill set, right? Like giving your gift. And I'm saying this shit like it sound easy. Shout out to anybody that knows any real shit that we're talking right now. This is for men right now. Picking between your gift and those that you gift to is probably the hardest decisions you'll ever make, and finding the right balance. And no one has a perfect recipe for any one of us. Like, you have to just go through it and figure it out. But when you do, when those moments start to unravel and show themselves as, okay, yeah, I don't need to work. I can put this music down for 9 years. But this 1 year I get with my situation, I ain't never gonna get back. And when I'm dead and gone, they're gonna remember that more than they did my gift, because my gift is me. We don't realize the power of presence. Like, actually, we complain so much. I hear people all the time, I don't want that bad energy around me. I don't want this around me or whatever. But we don't realize the power of presence. I would do anything to have my mother back just here. She would have to say a damn word, just knowing that she's here. And it makes you reflect on the power of all the time I did have with her and what that meant. And maybe I didn't even understand half the shit she said sometimes because I was too young to get it. But the power of presence, we rob each other of our presence. We're so quick to allow each other to go to jail, to be forgotten, to be pushed out of the way in some form or fashion, to kill ourselves, to allow others to kill us. And we don't realize the power of our presence, that our power is in our numbers. When we, like you was talking about, that whole house full of family, that presence of power, you're not even thinking on the level of loneliness, or thinking on the level of I have not. You have everything. You one of the richest people out here. For all the money people have, they might not even be able to say they have what you have.
So it's a lot of people that don't understand how to count their blessings. It's something that I read the other day, a meme that somebody had up, and they was like, yo, man, everybody running around here talking about when they blessings gonna come, when they blessings gonna come. Your blessings might have already, you might be living them in a whole next way. Like, you might have been blessed to wake up today. You might be blessed to still be here. You might have been blessed to not have been put in a situation that got somebody else fed time. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know how blessings is coming and how they gonna manifest. But you're supposed to be, every day you here is more than enough things to be thankful for.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And that's why what you're doing musically is so fucking powerful. That's why when people know the story that you just told right now and they hear your music, that's why that music is so powerful. That's why it resonates. That's why to this day, you haven't even allowed yourself to be like, nah, I'm not going to do any more music. Nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm good with that. Like, it's translated over to the music in a real way. You hear that with a lot of people. Purpose is everything, man. When you find your fucking purpose, everything is done better. The music is done better. The deliveries are done better. The relationships are done better. It's just all things come together with a purpose, with a reason. You hear that saying all the time. Everything happens for a reason. Nah, you happen for a reason. That's it. It stops right there. You happen for a reason. And if you move based on your reason, then everything else will fall in place because of that. And we are powerful, brother. I appreciate you getting candid about that. I know it's not easy to talk about things like that are close to the heart. We tend to keep things close to the vest right now, and deservedly so in a lot of situations, because we live in a world that likes to shame things that are real and glorify the things that are fake.
Indeed. You got a point right there, but at one point, it might not have been easy for me, but it's easy for me today. You know what I mean? Like, even just walking around with a smile on my face and, in a happy mood. Where I'm from, it's a bad place, B. I ain't even gonna start it like that. I got a lot of fond memories, but it's a lot of bad people with it that do bad things. And, that shit come close to home a lot. So, it's coming from an area like that, neighborhoods like that. A lot of us move guarded. Like I heard you up. I was listening in. I was on board on deck when you was interviewing Master Ace. Master Ace live down the block from me, Howard Houses. I come from down the across the street, 2 blocks over, Langston Hughes. Smith and Wesson and them come from across the street from there. Suffalo, MOP come from up the hill. You know, a couple of neighborhoods over, Fab, Big, Hove, all these the junior mafias. You know what I mean? You already know the usual suspects from all the 5 boroughs. That's how we grew up, bro. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. And to your point, you know, seeing what you may have witnessed, seeing the in lieu of a heart. We hear this all the time. It takes heart to take one of us out. And I'm not from that class. I believe it's the complete opposite. It takes no heart to take us out. Knowing the gravity, knowing the importance of our numbers and how there's so many things. I mean, I laugh about it. I say the entire planet's after us. But you know, to grow up in Brownsville, I know you've seen some shit that just don't even make no damn sense. It's just
still big.
Like, yeah.
It was just a triple murder suicide the other day. This dude comes through to his daughter's birthday party, kills the mother, the stepdaughters, 2 of the stepdaughters. His daughter is hiding in the closet. He goes outside, kills himself. This is across the street from me. Down the block where my man Stuck B lives, big. Sean P. brother. So this is all day, every day. But this happens all over the place, unfortunately. But
it's not isolated. Yeah, it's not isolated.
What I really wanted to highlight was that one of the hardest things for me to do was to be able to express myself without attempting to seem like a hard rock. You know what I mean? Let my true feelings, true self, true face be shown and be seen, because I felt like, you know, somebody might take advantage of that. And I'll come in contact, even living my life now, I come in contact with dudes that be on it like that still. I'm in the middle of a club having a good time with my family, my cousin that just did 2 decades in the pens, laughing and joking, and I've noticed dudes ice grilling in the corner. What is wrong, dude? Motherfuckers having a good time, or then you don't know the faces is a problem. We all brothers, man. We all sisters. We all family. Who gonna fight this fight that we got coming against the real, and then we killing each other, big?
Right. You're absolutely right. And I love that you brought Master Ace up, because I did ask him about that. You know, part of the things that like threw me was he seems very introverted. And then he explained why. Because growing up in Brownsville, it was a reaction to not knowing. Like, he cases everything. He makes sure people ain't doing certain things. He's always watching if other conflicts going on around him.
Let me give you a story that'll help back that up and reiterate what Ace was talking about, man. It was a time when I was coming up, I was always blade crazy, fucking watching these Chinese movies, karate flicks on Saturday afternoon like most of us. I was blade crazy. That was the easiest weapon you could get. And, you know, as a young dude, I got my hand on a switchblade one time from one of my homies. And I'm showing it to the dude that I think is my friend from my building that I grew up with since I was 3 years old. I'm probably like 11, 12. And I'm showing off the knife and, yo, talking, trying to talk tough, yo, check it out, knife, what up? And he like, yo, what would you do if I take the knife from you and stab you with it right now? Huh? That's Brownsville, God. This is be my man. How you gonna even ask me that? It immediately put me it immediately educated me in seconds, God. So where my reply in seconds was, I will have to stab you back, like as if that could possibly be done. But yo, man, that should have turned you into something that you never meant.
Right. That's called That's called the trap. For those that think the trap was developed here in 2010, 2015, that trap has been existed. There's plenty of people out here that live their entire lives devoted to either destroying us or, celebrating our destruction. And that has nothing to do with skin color. It has to do with the worship of fame and money, whatever that is. And, yes, you're right. If you're living in fucked up conditions and you're told that your life is nothing unless you got money. From little kids, we're told this over and over. You ain't shit unless you got some money. And if you got some money, you better be a killer because we'll kill you for it. And this shit is like insane. It's an insane way to live. But we've all been exposed to it, just like we've all been exposed to this COVID thing. Talk about some of the things you've been doing in your community, which I'm very proud of you. I see what you're doing out there, man. It's a very beautiful thing to be out there helping your people. I mean, isn't that part of our job, right? To be of service while you're here on this planet? Talk about that.
Well, that's what I thought. That's what I was taught. That's how I was raised. You know what I mean? I come up in a family where, we always talk to do for each other and do whatever we can for those around us. You know what I mean? Like I seen my mom giving out food. Like I would wonder, coming up in Brownsville, not having the best of the best and not having the most. I would see moms giving away plates, this, that, and the third, and like what? I couldn't understand why she's giving away plates and stopping talking to strangers in the street. I was like, why are you talking to these people, man? You don't even know these people. Now, I see all of that from my grandma, my mom. All this is transferred off to me. I'm just, people already gravitate to me anyway. You know what I mean? I always been that type of person. That's one of the things that kind of led me to the music. People used to ask me all the time, "Yo, you a model? Yo, you dance or something?" And I was just growing up. I ain't know nothing. I was like, "Oh, nah." But people asked me that shit so many times until it was almost like, "Motherfucker, don't you get it?" It's almost like God was talking. Well, maybe I should be getting into it. And got it. Right. And really ain't never been no looking back. But as far as the community, I always wanted to, since I've been back, it's always been dudes in the neighborhood that would always do for the community, even if the neighborhood, even if it was the drug dealers in the neighborhood put together their money and put on a basketball tournament for the peoples, put on a barbecue, or like even, you know what I mean? I've seen some of the local homies out on a Halloween on the various corners giving out candy to these kids out in Brownsville. And once again, this is Brownsville. Local tough dudes come out, making sure all of the ain't no kid left out. The day after Christmas, I was out there with the trucked out team, and it was in the park, in the middle of Brownsville, pulled up, and ice cold. Every truck was loaded to capacity with toys for boys and girls of all ages. You know, I mean, Brownsville. It's a love-hate type thing, a bittersweet type thing. I always wanted, it feels like a natural thing that's supposed to be done. It's what we're supposed to be doing. And even with my schedule being kind of crazy and moving around how I move and we move, living this lifestyle, I wanted to be part of something like that, but I didn't want it to have to be on hold and for the neighborhood, the community, the kids, whoever, the elderly, the seniors to suffer because now I'm in Florida, I'm in Canada or whatever. I ain't wanted to have to stop the presses. So I was looking for an organization to team up with and seen an organization called the BCJC, the Brownsville Community Justice Center, who works in partnership with the mayor's office, the MAP team, the mayor's action plan team, as well as various other partners throughout the entire city and throughout the entire 5 boroughs. So I teamed up with them, and I'm what you consider a resident stakeholder. I live on the grounds. I live in the neighborhood. I'm part of the team. We conduct weekly meetings, and at the same time, we help the neighborhood figure out how to use grant money that's issued out from various agencies. You know what I mean? We bring it, we bring the plan to the neighborhood, find out what it is that they want and need, and then we set the proposals in motion. At the same time, we also teach the neighborhood various life skills, job skills. In the pandemic, we switched off to providing resources to the various different people from PPE to food. You know what I mean? And we've been doing it like that heavy. And it was some of us that was also out there, along with some of y'all elected leaders. You know what I mean? The elected leaders rock with us in partnership with us as well. So we had one of the assembly women out there, one of the council women out there. You know what I mean? Yo, this is my sister right here.
Hey, what's going on? Hello, sis. Hey,
I'm doing the interview. All right, that's it. All right. I'll see y'all later. You know what I mean? So between all of the various different work that we've been doing is definitely deeper than rap. Appreciate y'all, man. Salute to everybody that's on the line. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we people and we all got families. And yeah, I mean, it been a time when a lot of people would say things like, "Yo, what's going on across the street don't matter if it don't affect me and my family." That's the furthest thing from the truth. You know what I mean? It may day, but it could affect somebody you love further down the line, and we got to be able to stand up for situations like that. You know what I mean? We got to be able to stand tall. You can't be afraid to tell somebody in your neighborhood that's been around and grew up around that they doing wrong. That's how we came up, and those are some of the things that kept us in line, kept us in order, because our families we couldn't get away with nothing because everybody on every block knew somebody in the family, and if you were seen and disrespected any of these elders, you was gonna get seen over there and seen at home. And you know what I mean? You gotta go back to that.
I love what you said. I love what you just said, man, because when you're talking about, I was just talking about this with Do It All not too long ago, which he is running for councilman in Trenton, New Jersey. I mean, Newark, New Jersey. I mean, and we were talking similarly about the idea of, how does one robber, maybe it's two, maybe it's three, run the entire neighborhood when the whole neighborhood outnumber them? And the power of organization, the power of numbers, the idea that, like you said, oh, that shit ain't none of my business. So what if they get robbed? And how that doesn't make any sense, because if they're robbing them, that means they're gonna rob you. That'd be like Walmart saying, "Well, you can rob Target. I don't care about Target." Well, Target will never build another building by Walmart, and Walmart won't like that. Walmart benefits from Target being across the street, and they both have interest in not being robbed. So if one person is robbed, everyone's robbed. They robbed everyone. It's not one person that got robbed. Everyone got robbed because you robbed the neighborhood. That's why the Italian communities are the way they are. That's why the Asian communities are the way they are. You're not going to go in their neighborhood and start doing no crazy stuff, because if you do it to one, you do it to everyone. And that's the mentality. That's the idea that we need to have as a community here, not only, in your neighborhood, but across the United States. In most Black communities, we don't realize we're so busy at times competing, ignoring, and hating each other that we don't realize our power is our numbers. And our power is that we care about one another. Like, no, you ain't finna rob nobody in this bitch. I don't care if everybody in this place is silent. No one here is going to get robbed on our watch. No one here is going to be harmed in our neighborhood on our watch. You kill my son, the only time your days are numbered, they're going to kill your son. Somebody else's son going to get killed.
While we're on the subject, let me drop these jewels, man. For those that ain't never heard these type of things in their life, that ain't never had the privilege to grow up around legendary hood scholars. I met an OG the other day. He said his name was Bill Blast. I know if I mention, I don't know I heard his name before, but I know if I tell any supposed tough dude that been up wherever, if I say, yo, I met OG Bill Blast the other day, it's gonna be that type of situation. But before the lost era, and I would say the lost era, the lost generation, would have to be a lot of these people that got caught up in that crack epidemic, from using it to those family members affected by the family members that was using it, like the mother, the father on it, that
Right.
changed the dynamic of the whole household. But a lot of the Jews that was being held and done, was like, even if it was the dude that was robbing and stealing in the neighborhood, they didn't rob and steal in the neighborhood.
Right.
They went. Not necessarily saying that this was a good thing, but they took
No, you're
that to
absolutely right.
somebody that could afford to take the house to the diamond district, to the banks, to the big department stores who got insurance on everything. Once again, I'm saying that this is right, but to be doing it from somebody in your own community who we live in a poverty-stricken community where most people live below poverty status, so to be robbing and stealing from these people, what we doing, man? And
Right.
let alone if anything's happening to the women.
Right. And keeping police presence in our neighborhoods to a point in which they don't realize. Here's the cascading effect when we're thinking about, and I love what you just said, when you're thinking about the idea of who all is affected by one idiot. And we hear this all the time when you go to work. Yeah, we used to be able to take breaks for like 20 minutes, but then somebody did this, so they stopped doing all of that. Well, that sounds stupid. And if you work long enough, you've been to that job, and they're saying that dumbass shit. And normally that shit is ridiculous. But there's truth to it. Because one idiot can have a police presence in your community that not only is the robbing going on, but now the police are in there attacking innocent people and making people feel unsafe in their community. So you're actually affecting the entire neighborhood by agreeing without agreeing to let this robber run loose because it's one of your sons, because it's one of your people. Instead of looking at it from, like you said, whatever the hell y'all gonna do, just don't do it here. We don't allow that shit. Fuck that.
And
do whatever,
do
whatever you want over there, but that's fine.
It wasn't that long ago where people would take that stand, even from the local like New York never really they had the gangs back when, but after a while it wasn't heavily like a gang culture like a lot of other places. You know what I mean? It would just be a lot of individuals doing whatever they was doing. But these dudes would be the same dudes that wouldn't let things like that happen in the neighborhood. You would see the elders coming, put the smoke down, hold it down, help them with their bags, get them off, make sure the young ones ain't staying around. Cats is cutting school. Well, that shit can't be done over here. Once you out of school, you might be able to come and have a conversation and rock with us, but you got to finish school, young blood. That's how they used to. You know what I mean?
Why? Because it's bad for business. Nobody wants cops around in your neighborhood, living on your blocks, intimidating people, making people feel like they're over-policed in comparison to other neighborhoods. And then, once again, like most ethnic communities back in those days in which you described, they have rules. It's bad for business. You're not going to be having drama and craziness out on the street. Not going to be take all that shit in the home. Our neighborhood's supposed to feel and look a certain way. The HOAs do it to us now. They tell us to cut our lawn, and they tax us for it. But we're not doing that for each other, saying, nah, man, y'all ain't finna have that out here. Take that inside. Be adults. We got kids out here that are looking to y'all as examples. We need to stop that. And I'm saying this leading up to you have the mentality to really do some change. And I hope at some point you consider giving your ties to all of these people in your community and working with the mayor and working with a lot of these politicians, that you consider running maybe for a council office or some sort of office, to have a little more power or encourage some of your people to run. Because the more of us that we have in there, the more of us can sleep better at night knowing that there's people like us that ain't going to be selling out for money and will actually have some ideas that we all would share and benefit from, because you got your ears to the street. You know what the streets are saying.
Yeah, you're making a lot of sense, and I'm feeling like that's going to end up being a natural progression. Like I told you, I wanted to be part of the organization, and now at this point, I'm seeing like I need to take on a more of a leadership role in the organization, and outside of that, be able to have my own situation that's doing more for more people. And at the end of the day, that's what our politics is, a natural progression.
But that would be completely amazing. You got the mind state for it. You've seen it all. We don't have enough of our people in place to do that. We need more of us there to hold people accountable, if that's even possible. But I would feel a lot better, and I'm pretty sure Brownsville feel a lot better if they had more of y'all in power than they do people that are protecting the status quo.
We all do, and we all would, man. I'm a firm believer of that, and you know what I mean. We live in proof of that. Like we done already seen that. Like it's well, I don't know if y'all seen it, but it's for instance, our attorney general right now, the one that's at your man Trump. I don't know if y'all know about that. You know what I mean? Like she was waiting for him to come out of office and was already stacking up the case, putting that together. Her name is Letitia James. I watched her go from every level of government, from the local level to where she at now, with the way she's the attorney general. You know what I mean? And every time something adverse happened, good or bad, happened on, and it was a face to be seen from the government, from our people. She was always standing tall, and I'm watching that same thing take place with a few other members of elected officials right now. Like I said, we're working with a few of them, and I mean, I was walking, leaving my mom's the other day, and there's a lady that's running right now. I think her name is Nikki Lucas. She's running for office right now, and she seen me, and she was like, "Yo, I know who you are." I was like, "She's like, well, I'm out here getting votes." I'm thinking she about to run a game on me, man. But this is the actual lady that's running for office, backed by one of our own black elected officials now, and at the same time, I was just at an event with one of the guys from boot camp, right? I've seen it on. So you know what I mean. So you can imagine. She was like, "Yo, follow me." I don't even. If I don't see nobody in the neighborhood, you get no love and no respect from me. Don't come up in the neighborhood when it's time to get votes. I need to see your face when it's happening and when the people is in need all year long. And I mean, she's already of that. And just the fact that she was already in touch with a lot of the things happening on the street level and where I'm dealing with. I mean, I followed her immediately. She just followed me back. And you can imagine. So these are the type of relationships I'm cultivating right now.
And I know especially for our hip hop community and our culture community, I wouldn't say it's frowned upon, but it's nothing like, man, I ain't gonna do that, man. I wouldn't do that. Like, and not realizing the level of influence that one already has, not necessarily needing office to scale it, but when you start thinking bigger than yourself and realizing, just like they tell us, oh, we don't need permits, or in so many ways, just go and buy a gun. We tell each other, just go buy a gun. Don't be legal. And they give us a free federal charge that follows us the rest of our lives, so that we can't vote and that we can participate in our own country, and we become lifelong prisoners. It's the idea of saying, okay, well, boom, how can I be a part of that change? How can I take what I've already been doing all my life and now translate it into public policy? Because I'm pretty sure you got ideas on what you'd see that would be good for Brownsville in general. What say you? What say you about if you could change one thing in Brownsville, what would it be, Thunny? Yep. You there, brother?
I'm right here. She was having some technical difficulties. You know, they ain't got the system.
Yeah, you good, brother. No worries. If you had one thing that you could change in Brownsville, what would it be? That you could turn into public policy.
That Brownsville is cool, but my entire city need this shit, man. So I need the same thing happening in Brownsville that we need happening in all the 5 boroughs. If it ain't happening, we need a community center, a real life community center that's also providing and reinforcing what our kids need in life to move forward in this day and age. Like, you know what I mean, technology, whether it be like it's a lot of our elders that don't even know how to work their phones, don't know how to work these various devices. Couldn't do it getting like this because they probably could work it, but then a lot of them is scared to start dealing with it and taking those steps and moving in those directions. But a community center in every neighborhood where kids could go and take advantage of things like that. Like when I was coming up, the community center was there and they had some people that was teaching boxing. You could go there, play pool, table tennis, this, that, and the third. You might be able to go there, find out about some job opportunities. Right now in my neighborhood in Brownsville, it's surrounded by over 7 different housing developments. Only 1 or 2 of them have their own community center, and then out of that, only 1 of those is offering different things. Like the one in Van Dyke and Brownsville that works in partnership with the BCJC. These guys are offering different opportunities for young people from summer youth to learning how to get a food handler's license to various. Like, we need to be able to get our peoples and our youth in touch with these type of resources. You know what I mean? And then once that place is there, you can do any type of event at a place like that. Real quick, without going on too long, I'll tell you about something that I seen on the news, and it meant something to me because it was something I wanted to do. One of my cousins went to a school called August Martin in Queens. My cousin Terrence, he's a reverend now. You know what I mean? Once, like I told you how my family moved, he's a reverend now. Held service at his mother's funeral. Was married his, you know what I mean? This is my cousin that I used to be at the Yardie Club with, B.
Salute.
But yeah, I mean, he was always of that cloth. Like I don't remember him having more than 2 girlfriends his whole life. Right. His last, his wife. You know what I mean? So, there was a guy that came on the news that said that he wanted to be a pilot when he was younger. But back to my cousin Terrence. I'm going over his house one time. See, he pulls out pictures of him flying a plane. I'm a little dude. He's flying a plane. I'm like, how the fuck is you flying a plane? And where is you flying a plane at? He's like, I was in school. I want to go to that school. Wanted to go to the school, didn't get into that school. One of my other cousins who was a loose school, I ain't even gonna call his name. Fuck, I said that my cousin good, but he got into that school. I ain't get into that school. This dude is on the news and he's like, I became a pilot. And because these opportunities weren't in the area when I was young, I came back to the neighborhood with a program to offer these things to young kids that might be interested in these things.
Right.
And you know what somebody in the neighborhood might be interested in or what they might want to do. That's the perfect example of somebody that we could bring into any community center, hold a class and bring more people into his program and so on and so forth from all walks. You know what I mean?
Right. Man, that's amazing. I shouts out to the community centers. You know, I was a part of one. Growing up downtown Orlando, we have one right there in downtown. You know, and it does help. It does give you a place to go. It allows parents to go to work, you know, and know that their kids are safe.
Let me tell you this. It was times when we wasn't in the community center or we was too big for the community center and we'd be fucking around out in the street doing stupid shit. Was finding anything to do. They got wild garbage. You know what I mean, used to be mad fruit joints on the Ave, and they would always throw out the food we on the Ave having the sour, rotten fruit fight. Somebody left something on fire. We over there adding shit to the fire. It's a yeah, I mean, an idle mind is the devil's playground. It's only a matter of time, a lot of times, before somebody suggests something stupid, and then, yeah, I mean, next thing you know, somebody's caught up.
Right. You know, let's quickly talk about what we can look for musically from you this year. I know you say you described briefly you were taking a little hiatus.
Nah, hiatus. I was just while my family is in town. We ain't.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah, so talk about what you got going on, so that people that are tuning in that may not know what Thunny is doing right now, explain it.
Let's get to it then. Y'all want to talk about music? You know what I mean? Y'all motherfuckers is fans of hip hop. Well, y'all need to tap into me and my people, me and my familia, be all of us. You see me sharing something, I might be on it, but they shit is fire, period. So right now, I got the new Heavenly Swore album out right now. Dropped that a few months ago. We got 7 videos off that album right now, moving. You know what I mean? I got features on there, production from my man Cousin Bob, who also made up I Ain't Having That single on the Helter Skelter Magnum Force album. Got my man Ed Rock on there doing production. My man Hollywood is on there with production. Cedric Hollywood, part of the legendary M3s. You know what I mean? Back in the days,
yes.
Parents from my boot camp family, Supreme the Elohim and Rusty Jooks on a song called Gators, Wolves, and Generals, where you was mentioning earlier. My big cuz, rock the rule. Racks from Red Rum AOG flew into town to bless me with some of his expertise and tag team with one of my other cousins up here, the dynamic director, Rennie Renoir, and they work collaboratively together on that to bring y'all out. Y'all make sure y'all go check that out. Put it in rotation. Keep it on spin. You know what I mean? Share, like, comment, subscribe. You know what I mean? I also got my man, Illinois, you already know, boot camp alumni, as well as also the baby brother of the late great Sean P. My man Stuck B, who's also my partner on the Fuck Out of Here podcast show with our DJ Kruger. The album is flooded with features and hot joints. It's on fire. Yeah, you know I mean, make sure y'all go get it. It's called Heavenly Sword. It's out on all streaming platforms. It's available everywhere. I can't even forget. Thank you for my cousin Strange Flow on the line, reminding me right now that he also produced a track up there. That's one of the hottest tracks on the album. So I felt that way, and then people been telling me that. Scare, you already know, he's part of the legendary Warheads, the Fam Trees, the Skim Team, AOD, Heist and Flow, my bad. Yo, this shit is called population control, B, and I ain't even got to say no more about that. That shit is self-explanatory. Put that shit in your deck on repeat. Make sure y'all spinning the whole album. You know what I mean? It's Thunny Brown. It's the pretty boy gangster Thunny Brown, a.k.a. the Thunder God. Boot Camp Magnum for AOD. So that project is out. I'm also on a project called the 420 Zombie Apocalypse Part 1 for my mans and them out at DJ Chino and his team out there in Canada right now. I got the final track on the album. You know what I mean? I ain't going to tell y'all what that means. When they put your shit, when you at the show and the perform last, what that mean? When the project is in order, the whole fucking conundrum, variety of MCs on the shit, and your shit go last, fuck that mean, man. Omerta from DJ Chino 420 and Thunny Brown, go get that, put it in rotation. We looking to shoot a video for that sometime in the summer when I can get these dudes on the ground from Canada and we figure out these fucking pandemic restrictions. It's a pandemic, you know what I mean? Also, we got the project coming out for my cousin, DJ Harvey Stone. That project is pretty much about 75-85% done. I'm going to come back down to Florida with the finishing touches on that with the team. That's featuring Rough the Rule Racks. That's featuring Strange Flow, Shice, I mean, and I don't know if anybody else, but of course we're gonna end up having to put my man Red Eye on that, and whoever is fucking with us that's still active. You fucking with us, we fucking with you. You might be able to get a verse or two. Know what I mean? Heavenly.
You already know, man.
Familiar. Y'all know y'all might see me on the. Y'all ain't even know Mike. My man Judas Priest from the Wu-Tang Killer Breeze. Look for me on his project when that shit drop. You know what I mean? And go also make sure y'all tap into the Fuck Out of Here podcast show. FUKKK out of here show. The Fuck Out of Here. Subscribe.
When can they catch that show?
Well, right now, just log on to the channel and subscribe to the channel. The Fuck Out of Here show on YouTube. We don't got no regular dates right now. We in hiatus. We making so much music right now. Big up to my man. I gotta mention my affiliates and my team. Big up to my partner Stuck B. He's on a brand new project called the Devil's Rejects 2 with the Bad Seed and Honey De Niro. That's an incredible project. Put that shit in rotation. You know what I mean?
Shout out to my man Bad Seed. Shout out to Bad Seed.
This dude is legendary. You know what I mean? He already did. He did the numbers. Been on tour with Busta Rhymes. You know what I mean? Running around with all kinds of people who's in the queer with Quincy Jones. We got the interview from him on the Fuck Out of Here show. Check it out and you can find out more about him. Hear his story like how y'all hearing mine right now. You know what I mean?
Man.
And yeah, it's a lot going on. I think that's about just right. Also, I'm part of the 420 committee. The 420 community out here is one half of the Smoke Guards. Yeah, I mean, big up to my man Tariq Buzz, who's also Leo Gang. We threw the backyard boogie party last year, heavy 420 event. We performed that shit, blew it out. You know what I mean? We're gonna do part 2 this year. Our birthdays is his birthday is the 24th. My man Stuck B birthday is the 25th. My birthday is the 26th, and my man documented birthday is the 27th. All in July, back to back. Bang, 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 bang. So we be doing the Leo Gang party. I don't give a fuck what your sign is, man. Leo Gang. Yeah.
Talk your shit, Daddy. Talk your shit, brother. No worries. No worries, man. Hey, bro, it's been an honor as always to kick it with you, man. I think we had a beautiful conversation in realms of what it is to be a man. And we're definitely rooting for you. We're supporting you out here. I consider you as like you said, the rest of the fam as part of that sound of Orlando as well. And like I said, Brad, if you got any music, he already knows. Send it to me. I'm rocking it on the radio. And man, we just appreciate you, brother. Giving you your flowers now.
Mutual, man. Congratulations on the platform. This shit going haywire. Like how you said, I was one of the first, you know what I mean? I know you already had numerous things happening, but then I seen the growth. And I was like, yo, this dude is going crazy. He on every night now? What the what's happening? I got new shit happening too. We need to talk, man. We need to talk. Something went wrong with our connection the last time. I felt like how you with that lady that you've been waiting to get with for so long, and then you don't perform your best. Yeah. I felt like that. I'm like, we got to get this done again. But I appreciate you for having me on the platform for everything you do, man. Oh, big up to my man Process. You're going to catch me on one of his new projects. I heard he about to be on here tomorrow night.
Yeah, he's coming on tomorrow, man.
One of the other home team. Yo, you already know how we move. We connected, B. I don't talk like that, but this shit is like a fucking black mafia, B. We everywhere.
It's a beautiful thing, like I said, to be able to hear where you guys are actually coming from. I don't know about anybody else.
Hold up. I neglected. Red Rum AOD, the Messiah Conference. Go get that. And look out for the deluxe version. Go get that. Messiah Complex right now. Red Rum AOD with their first project. Put their shit in heavy rotation. That's the team. Co-sign. You know what I mean? This message.
You already know.
Thunny Brown, a.k.a. the Thunder God, Boot Camp Magnafort, Rock Boy G, H-Bar, what?
Man, my brother, the legendary Thunder Man. Let's go, Thunny Brown. Give it up for my brother joining the show. tonight, if you don't know about that Get the Fuck Out of Here podcast, please go check that out and go pick up the man music. Is fire tunes. Fire tunes are running.
Fire. Boom. Y'all, man. Appreciate you, Rome. Feel better. Make sure you juicing up. Make sure you boosting that immune system. Stay safe. Stay healthy. And keep them suckers out your face, B.
I heard that. Free. I heard that, my brother. We try to make it happen, man. And I appreciate your blessings. I appreciate all your kind words, man. This is for y'all. And this is why we doing it, man. And as always, you're always welcome back on the show. And this is what we're gonna be doing for the near future, brother. This is it. This is what we do. All right. Love you, brother. Stay up. Brownsville. Rock it.
Love you.
Man, give it up for my brother, Thunny Brown. Let's go. Man, even if you feel under the weather, man, when you talk to good brothers like that, man, you feel like you're ready to go out and make a change or write a policy up or something, you know, change something, you know. And so, man, I'm feeling under the weather, man, but thanks for all the love tonight, man. Shout out to my man Comatose on the check-in. Strange Flow. You already know, brother. Shout out to my man Alfredo. Was good. Shout out to, let's see what else we got going on here. I did see South Star on the check-in. Shouts out to South Star, man, on the check-in. Who else we got? My man Shadow. Shout out to Shadow, man. Arizona in the house tonight. Let's go. Who else we got here? Low Balls. You already know he's gonna be on. Shout out to everybody that came through tonight, man, and supports the show, man. We love y'all. It's about our city, our story, and our motherfucking sound. You best believe that. If you don't know what we're talking about, you better go ask somebody if you live in the O. This is what we do. We don't give a damn what else is going on. Orlando, the ORL. This is the Sound of Orlando show. Shouts out to our sponsor of the night, the legendary DJ Jesse Jazz, 5stargraphics.com. If you need any printing in the city, go check the man. He's a legendary DJ, legendary promoter, and a legendary graphic art designer. If you need any printing in the city, go check the man. Fire tunes, let me not stop say that. You don't know. You heard? Shout out to all my Warhead crew, man, on the check-in, man. Love y'all. This is what we do, man. I love y'all, man. And I'm on the juices. I'm on that vitamin C. I'm trying to make it happen, man. Hopefully it's not some crazy shit. Feel like it's a 24-hour stomach bug, but hey, we fighting. We in the war. And me non-stop say that. Shout out to all my West India crew, massive. Hold tight, man. We love y'all, man. This is what we do. We will be back tomorrow with my man Process. This is what we do. Tampa's going to be in the house. Hillsboro will be in the house tomorrow. We're going to be doing a damn thing. Hell no, man. No damn Rona. Better not be no damn Rona. CMOS, you damn right. I'm taking some CMOS. I'm taking what's ever in that damn cabinet. We doing it. Love y'all. Let's go.
Orlando has long been known as the City Beautiful, also known as the City with a
Sound. Live on stage. The sound.
Orlando!
So, is they ready?
You mean to say that's the best you can do?
Hip hop is something you live.
Almost anybody could do better than that.
You know? Okay. The sound of Orlando!
Show.
Knock this down like it's supposed to be.
On your FM dial.
Stand by the car.
It's trying to hold this up.